Now for another lesson from the drawing textbook by Bruce McIntyre. This is lesson number 10. With a three-legged stool, a pile of packages, a double flag with the loop towards you, some buildings looking up, as opposed to from looking down, which is what we've been doing, a piano stool, and a cardboard carton with the flaps. Okay, let's get started. Let me fix my paper here. Okay, the first one is a three-legged stool, and that starts off with a foreshortened circle for the top. There's my foreshortened circle. I give it some depth because we're going to want to actually sit on this stool. Then I complete the foreshortened circle for the bottom. We're going to give it 3 legs, one here, and one here, and one in the back. This is going to have some shading on the bottom, which is also a foreshortened circle covering the area under our chair or our stool. We're going to shade all that in. And we're going to shade in the left side of each of our legs here. There's the one, here's another. The one in the back is actually shaded in almost is completely, because that's underneath the table and away from the light. There's our three-legged stool, and of course here it needs to be shaded. There we go, there's our three-legged stool. I did not put the cracks in the top. I don't know, I don't like the cracks, so. You can draw the cracks yourself by drawing. Oh, right, maybe I'll draw the cracks then. Here's a crack, and the crack, and the cracks come down. I don't know. I liked it better without the cracks. Anyway, next one. Am I still? The next one is the pile of packages. I'm going to start with the top package that has a foreshortened square. Down with the 3 sides and my parallel lines. That's the first one. It's just like the square wedding cake we had done. That's the first box. The second box is a little bigger. Goes behind the first box. These lines are parallel and these lines are parallel. There's my box. I think I might make this one a slightly bigger present. And the last box is, make it bigger. There's our last box. The foreshortened square for the bottom box of our 3 boxes. Now they put ribbons on the boxes, so the top box has just a plain ribbon crossing over. There was a bad line there. And a bow. There's my bow. The second one, they have a nice thick ribbon going along the middle and crossing underneath this other one, obviously the other package, present. Then I can see there are 2 different presents. The bottom one they gave like a double ribbon, or 2 sets of ribbons. There's one double here and a double there, and they come over again following the same lines. All the lines are parallel. This is to come this way, and this one is going to go this way. And there's our 3 packages, but of course we didn't put the shading on, so let's shade on the left side. We'll have the light coming from here, and so we're going to shade this bottom one on the left, and the middle one on the left, and the top one on the left. And of course these each create a little bit of shading on the package beneath them. There's our 3 stack, and a little bit of shading on the ground too. Would be good to have. Okay, there's our 3 stacked packages. Very good. Now we have a double flag with the loop towards you. We're going to start with our little flagpole again. It's a very straightforward thing. We're going to draw the top part, which curves back that way, comes over, curves over, and goes out that way. That way it's coming towards you. This one, we're going to draw the lines down, and this is the length, the width of my flag, or the height of my flag, I guess. And that has to be the height over here too, so the height is here. If you can imagine that when it comes behind, and this is the part coming forward, and this is the part going behind, and this part needs to come down too, would be good. Okay, so I have actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines coming down. They didn't put any shading on this, so that's the end of that one. The next one are the buildings looking up. Everything we've been doing has been looking kind of down on the houses. So now we're going to draw one looking up. We're going to draw the ground level first. And then we're going to go do the right building by drawing the farthest parts of the building. And then this is, I'm looking up at it, so this middle line is taller. Right, and these lines are actually further in the distance, right, if you can imagine that. We want to go up a few more levels, so we could put up another level here. Again, the 2 sides are going to be a little shorter. No, I mean, not a lot shorter, mind you. Yes, and we'll do one more layer here, whoops, from our building. And they want me to put a flag up top, so here's my flag. We've done the flags before. The one's blowing in the breeze. This whole side of the building is going to be in shade, so in shadow. So I'm just going to shadow all of that quickly. And we're just going to put a few little lines here to represent the windows on the building. They want us to put another building beside it, or beside and winds up being behind, so that we're going to have it come up. We'll make it a slightly bigger building. It's behind there and here. And again, the middle line is taller. This side gets shaded. I'll put a few rows of sort of windows, the suggestion of windows on that building. So this building you can see is beside, but also behind from this angle that we're looking at the 2 buildings. There's a space, a nice space in between the buildings, so if this side of the building gets light, which is nice. The piano stool is sort of like the basic 3-legged stool, except it has a couple extra layers. We're going to start off a little higher with our foreshortened circle. Drop our lines down. I'm not pleased with that line at all. I'm sorry, excuse me. Let me just erase that. I don't know, something about my foreshortened circles are not doing it for me today. There we go. This has shading on the left. We're going to have the central post of the stool come down here so that you can raise the height. It's like a big screw, in case you haven't seen one. Then we have a foreshortened circle on the bottom here. And this has to be closed off there. This comes down right? So this support goes up and down, can screw up and down so that you can adjust the height of the seat. This gets shading. This also gets a little bit of shading. And we're going to give it 3 legs. So here's 1, 2, and the third one in the back there. Third one in the back is, of course, completely in the dark, so we're going to shade that completely. And these guys are going to have some shading on their left side. And that's our 3-legged piano stool. The last thing is a cardboard carton with flaps. Here I'm going to start with the top of the carton, which is a foreshortened square. 1, 2, and 3, 4. As always with these lines are parallel, and these 2 other lines are parallel. We have the flaps, so we're going to have this flap going out this way, and this flap is going to go this way. It's very flappy, and the other 2 are going to go up so you can see them, otherwise you wouldn't see them at all. This comes down, this comes down, this corner of the box comes down, and this corner of the box comes down as well. And then this line and this line have to be parallel. And there's our box, right? With the 4 flaps. Let's give it some shading. This whole side is in shadow. With the lights coming as usual from here. Then we have this whole side of the box is not getting any light at all. So that's completely in shadow. And this box, well, this is going to be a little darker under this corner of the flap, but this side is also in shadow. But there are different shades of shadow, right? There are darker shadows and lighter shadows if you look at anything around you. I think I'm done. Well, let's do some. They have a few lines happening on here, and a label for the box is here. And that's everything. Oh, but it's put a little shading on the floor. All right, and that's the end of lesson 10.